What's up, guys? This is Acid Roots. I've got a Skillet review to do, and this is their last year's album, Unleashed, which uh, was kind of a summer album, mainly due to the song Feel Invincible, and that lasted for a good chunk of 2016. And the thing about it was they actually did have some extra songs, but this group is kind of Christian rock, and every single one of the 6 singles that they dropped from this project has charted on those specific charts, but then they also have a pretty good base on regular mainstream rock charts. So 4 songs actually charted on the US charts, and then 3 charted on the US main, which is the radio station I normally listen to. The biggest songs out of all 6 of these singles is Feel Invincible. It's the first song you're going to hear when you pick up the album, and it's probably one of the catchiest. It has a pretty deafening hook, and the feel-good vibes from it keep the song going. And there isn't a song that kind of dwarfs that song, but there are some extra ones that, at least keep their momentum going. So the next single would be Stars, but then that one kind of takes a different cue. So what they kind of do, the mixture of this album happens to be, it's definitely metal, but then there's some pop in there, and I would even say like pop rock, kind of the stuff that Linkin Park did on their One More Light album, and then Imagine Dragons. So, Imagine Dragons is, they're pretty skilled at getting on both the US Billboard Hot 100 charts and rock charts. So normally when they do that sort of thing, but I would kind of say that Skillet is like a hand-me-down version of Imagine Dragons in this category, because Feel Invincible hit 125 on the Billboard 100. They might have actually charted on that in the past, but at least with this album, it didn't seem like they did. So, but their second highest charting song would be Back from the Dead, and this is the one that came out and basically towards the end of 2016, early 2017. And this is basically the most recent video that they've dropped. And so this one, second song that you hear, and it sounds similar to basically I Want to Live in Undefeated, but then Undefeated kind of reminds me of not Feel Invincible, but those 3 songs basically sound similar. And then Out of Hell is probably the most ferocious song out on here, which, is a plus. I definitely like the idea of them doing that. They get to Seether and Sepultura and Godsmack territory when they do that sort of thing, but they only do it one time. I mean, the other songs are more just passing for metal more so than pushing it to the extreme. I think that they're really going for more of like a mainstream approach with this project, but at least half the album does have, or a little bit less than half the album does have regular metal more so than rock. But there are songs on here that do have kind of a pop approach, and I would say songs like Lions, Stars, Famous, these are some of the ones that try that. But the main thing is I'm just not sure if they're quite masters of this genre right yet. I mean, Feel Invincible, that one kind of felt like pop rock, but there really wasn't a song that outdid that song and could have been basically put that song to shame. So besides that, I mean, even if Feel Invincible is a good song, the whole thing is they are good at metal, so that's not questioned. But just in terms of like pop appeal, like some rock bands get, it just doesn't feel like that way. With this, like I said, the 6 singles, so I basically listed those for you. Feel Invincible, Stars, Back from the Dead, I Want to Live, Lions, and The Resistance. Now, I didn't talk about The Resistance, but this one's actually another one that comes close, but I couldn't get into that song as much. but it's kind of hook ready and radio ready, but I just didn't think it came close to some of their better songs, like I Want to Live and that sort of thing. Back from the Dead, these sorts of songs. So really, 6 songs out of 12 are the ones that I enjoyed, and I was digging the pop appeal that they had in Feel Invincible, and they kind of do it in the Resistance too. So I guess you could almost say that, that could be like the 7th song. I know I said I didn't like it, but it's one of those songs I feel like I might like in the future. But Famous is another pop song, and basically, uh, mm, yeah, it's something to consider. So that's the main thing. I mean, if you do want to try this avenue, is something to consider. But all right, so I'm gonna list the best moments, the moments I recommend to you. These moments are Feel Invincible, Back from the Dead, I Want to Live, Undefeated, Famous, and Out of Hell. Out of Hell is probably the second best song in my opinion, basically second to Feel Invincible, and like I said, it's the most vicious song. Back from the Dead is probably third, and then from there you just have to know the singles. So my internet just disconnected during this. That's kind of why I'm doing this, but uh, so yeah, what I thought of this project, I mean, it gets a 6 out of 10. So I liked half the project, but the fact that they had so many singles and the punch of the radio songs is a lot stronger than some that I've heard. I mean, it did hit #1 on the rock charts, so obviously that kept several songs released around that time from hitting #1. So that's kind of the thing, is the fact that it was probably one of the stronger showings out of late 2016. And knowing that, that basically shows that, yeah, some of these songs are, ready to go. And yeah, so the social score, the social score is going to get about a 7 out of 10, just because it had so many charting songs. On the Christian rock chart, you'd never be able to tell that this wasn't a fantastic album, just because so many songs got airplay. And the only thing left, I mean, I don't know if they're going to drop any more videos. I'd kind of like to hear another song or two. But now that I've heard the whole album, it kind of spoils the surprise for what other tricks they have up their sleeve. Because they have dropped 6 singles, so it's kind of like, there's nothing really else for them to do. Probably, finish their tour, take a break for several months, and then get to their possible 2018-2019 album. But as it were, I mean, it's above average, but I kind of wanted, the main complaints I had is I wanted them to basically get another Feel Invincible size song, and then maybe an extra metal song or two.